This is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we're at the Precious Metal Summit 2019 in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me right now is Peter Akerley from Erdene Resources. It's a publicly traded company. I got a few symbols for you: ERD on the TSX, ERD.CF in the US, and ERDN on the Mongolia Stock Exchange. Peter, welcome to SNN.Live.
Robert, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on. So for our audience, to start off with an overview of the company, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Our focus today is largely on the development of a 50,000 ounce per year gold producer. It's a high-grade open pit located in southwestern Mongolia. A real unique feature of this is a new district that we discovered over the last 4 years. So we're in an area that no modern geologists have walked before. We have this anchor that we can now get to development and continue to expand this into a much larger opportunity.
So let's get a history of the company. When did it start, and how did you develop to where you're currently at today?
So I was one of the first geologists into Mongolia when it first opened up from a communist economy into a transitional to market economy. I've had the opportunity to be one of the first in and first movers, I guess, in that country. We've evaluated over 5 million hectares of ground, 3,000 prospects, and I think it's now 100 exploration licenses to get to the point where we've kind of synthesized the country down to this belt that we've identified in southwestern Mongolia where we're focused today.
And I have to ask, so you said that you're one of the first to walk the ground that you're currently exploring.
That's right.
So does that mean, does someone call that, what, a green leaf? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's right. A green leaf project could be one way to look at it. Grassroots projects is how we usually look at it. It's as early as it gets. We literally went out there 3 years ago and picked up 4,000 gram per ton samples where no geologists have walked before. Fast forward 2 years, we have one of the highest grade deposits ready to go to open pit in the industry today.
So, I have to ask too, and you've already alluded to my next question a little bit, but sure. I want to know, what would you say makes the company unique when compared to your peers out there?
It truly is great. It's so unique today to have a deposit. We are 3 times the global average grade for a gold deposit at about 3.5 grams. Those deposits have existed in Nevada, Ontario, or some of these mature districts, but as soon as they're found, they're mined out. So that's really what separates us from other projects. Because of that, you can have lower capex and still be producing the same volume that you would otherwise. It's a very unique attribute of these deposits is great.
And what's your background? I mean, what led you to Mongolia?
Geologist, one of the first geologists, as I mentioned, that went into the country with a Toronto Junior in 1997. I arrived there and kind of looked at the country over a period of a couple of years and realized we have one of the greatest gold belts in the world running through this country and had never received modern exploration. We were next door to China that was starting to build up at the time, and I thought if I'm ever going to hang my hat somewhere, do this myself in terms of starting a junior mining company, this would be the place to do it.
And Peter, I also have to ask, Mongolia, as you said, it's just recently opened up. What's the current geopolitical situation for junior mining companies?
I think what's important to me is when you look at social license to operate in all of these countries, all of these developing countries have political situations which are uncomfortable oftentimes in terms of changing policy, stability of laws. But the way I look at it is you really got to work from the grassroots up. You have to get the communities involved. You have to have that support all the way through the permitting process. And those local individuals have to feel like they're part of it. And so the approach we've taken last year was to become the first dual listed company in the Mongolian Stock Exchange. Through that, we now have 6,800 Mongolian shareholders. Many of those purchased in a straight financing that we did on the Mongolian exchange, but we took it a step further. And everybody in the local community, 5,000 people, has a share in our company or shares in our company. That really makes them feel part of it. There's that shared benefits, and that comes back to my point of you really have to get that support from the community up when you're operating in any. It's not just developing countries. Social license to operate is key for success for any mining company globally today.
And then from what you can tell me, what are some of the company's value catalysts for the rest of 2019 going into 2020?
So we're about to launch some of the regional drilling on Monday of next week. So that'll be testing some of the targets that we haven't yet tested outside of the main ore body. In addition to that, we're in the final stages of our pre-feasibility study that will be announced in mid-October. Expect that to be filed in late November. And as we move through that process, we'll be getting all the permits in place as well. So regional exploration results, pre-feasibility, permitting.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
You can find us at www.erdene.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm coming to you live on SNN.Live, and we are at the Precious Metal Summit 2019 in Beaver Creek, Colorado. With me again has been Peter Akerley from Erdene Resources, publicly traded company. A few symbols again: ERD on the TSX, ERDCF in the US, and ERDN on the Mongolia Stock Exchange. Peter, thank you for joining me today.
Great, Robert. Thank you.